I've been talking quite a bit recently about safety in a few different ways, but safety really is such an important part of really all aspects of this healing process. And today I'd like to talk a little bit more about another aspect of being able to feel safe and the importance in feeling safe in healing. Welcome. I'm Peggy Oliveira. Thank you for joining me. So I want you to just kind of bear with me a little bit. I'm going to share a few ideas, a few scenarios, and I'd like you to just kind of think about what it would feel like, what it would be like. So imagine that you are in a support group as a parent who has lost a child as a result of drunk driving. And you're in the support group, and one day there's somebody that comes into the group and they start talking about somebody that they really like and they support. And it turns out that that person is a known drunk driver in the community. And all the people in this group know that. And this person just kind of goes on and on about how amazing this person is. That's going to affect the level of trust and safety that people in that group feel. Not to mention likely bring up a lot of other feelings. But people are less likely to want to share. They're probably quite likely to not want to go again, which obviously is going to significantly impact not only their grieving process and their healing in that way, but also just their sense of being able to even go into other spaces, maybe a different group, and know that it will be a safe space for them to be able to really feel what they feel and know that their feelings and their experiences are not only understood, but validated by not acknowledging or not suggesting that or praising somebody who is known to be a drunk driver over and over again. Another way to think about this might be somebody who is a person of color, and whatever color that may be, just not white. And you're in a group that is meant to be a support type of group for whatever it might be. And somebody comes in and they're wearing a t-shirt with David Duke on it. And if you don't know who David Duke is, he was the head of the KKK for a long time. But they're wearing a t-shirt with his name on it and maybe even like the hood or something like that. That's no matter what color that person is that's wearing that t-shirt, the people in that space are not going to feel safe and trusting sharing or even being in the space with somebody who supports, in whatever way they may support, a person who is wearing that t-shirt, right? So even if that person might have a similar lived experience, if somebody is supporting somebody who is a member and a proud member of the KKK, really no matter what color you are, unless you're other than white, you're going to know who that is. You're going to know what it represents. You're going to know that the person wearing that shirt aligns with what it means in some way or another. And so it isn't going to feel safe. And again, just like the other group I mentioned, they may not want to go back to that group. They're going to feel uneasy. They may notice when they walk out that they're wondering, are there other people like them waiting outside? there's going to be a lot of different things that come up, and some of it may be really conscious. They may be very aware of what they're thinking or feeling, and they may not. They may even try to rationalize and talk themselves out of what they're actually feeling, right? If you've experienced childhood trauma, you know very well that experience. Taking it into another scenario, and I'm talking about this for a very specific reason. If you go into, or if somebody is involved in a support group for survivors of sexual abuse, and you're in this group and you're feeling safe, you're feeling validated and understood, and you're allowing yourself to share little bits and pieces of yourself, whether it's your experience, your feelings, your fears. And then one day there's somebody that comes in, and let's say that this group of people are people that maybe have been abused by a coach or a priest or a pastor, somebody in the clergy, somebody that is like well known, somebody that has likely abused multiple people. One of my thoughts is going to certainly all the abuse that's happened in the church, but also thinking back to the gymnasts and their coach. I think it was their coach. So you're in the group and you all have an experience of being abused by either the same person or the same type of person or the same role, so coaches or priests or whatever it might be. And you're allowing yourself to feel safe. You're allowing yourself, not allowing yourself to feel safe. That's not something you really can control. But you're allowing yourself to be open and to receive support and validation and that sort of thing. And with that, you are building a sense of safety. Okay, this is a place where I know I can show up every Tuesday night and be understood and know that I'm not alone and all of that. And then one day you have somebody come in and they sit down, and maybe they're a survivor, maybe there's another reason that they're there, whatever the case might be. And they introduce themselves because they're new to the group, and they share a little bit about themselves or maybe their experiences, whatever that might be. And then they share that their favorite person, somebody that they're so excited about being recognized by the people in the community or something, is the person who abused you, or a person known to have been accused of abusing some of the people maybe in that very room. Again, you're immediately going to have a feeling, quite likely a reaction to what this person is saying, who this person that they're talking about is, and recognizing, wait a minute, how can you talk positively about this person? How can you be happy about this person having even more power and it not feel safe? And I'm sharing this for a couple of reasons. And one is that I do think it is really important that when we think about the people that we surround ourselves by or with, whether you're on an actual healing journey or just trying to be more aware of how things are affecting you, the people that you surround yourself with makes a difference in how you can feel, how your nervous system feels, the safety that you're able to experience. So, for example, if you, I don't know, nothing specific is coming to mind right now, but if you surround yourself with people who blame victims all the time, right? If you are around people like that a lot, you're going to continue to believe that it's your fault, that you were abused or assaulted. You're going to continue to believe that people will never believe survivors, that maybe survivors really are at fault, that you could never tell anybody because you wouldn't be believed and you might even be blamed. That's going to have an effect on you, whether you're consciously aware of the impact that it's having or not. And that's one of the reasons why I talk about when you're trying to heal, but you're in a relationship that is unhealthy, or you have like familial relationships or friendships in which the person is not somebody that you can really talk to. They will cut you off, they'll minimize whatever. You can't heal very well, certainly not completely, if those are the interactions that you're having. So being aware of who you are engaging with impacts your ability to feel safe, to feel like your experience, your feelings and your fears and your healing matter. So whether that is with a friend, a partner, a family member, or a group of people that you might be a part of, it's important to recognize that, because if those are the kinds of interactions that you're having, or the kinds of energy that you are experiencing on a regular basis, that is going to have an impact on your overall sense of safety, including your ability to feel safe and trusting yourself, your feelings, your thoughts, your experiences, and ultimately your intuition. The second part of this, and I'm doing this as a result of an email that I received and some comments that have been left on occasion. Fortunately, it's a rare occasion, pretty rare. But this space, while it is a very public space, this space is for people that have experienced trauma or are interested in allies, so to speak, to survivors. But it's a place to learn. It's a place to connect. It's a place to begin to trust that you're not alone, that you're not crazy, that you're not damaged, and that the shame that you've carried around is not yours. And everything that I do is done with that intention. I'm surprised I'm getting emotional about this. And sometimes I'm more cognizant of things that may help or detract from that than I might be at other times. And there could be a variety of reasons for that, none of it having to do with my intention or my desire changing. But over these last few months, it seems that there are some people who are surprised that I despise the man who won the election in the US in November. But it seems that might be a shock to some people, a disappointment to some people. And I have talked before about my feelings about it. I want people on both sides to fully understand this. This page is going to be a safe space for survivors. And no matter who you support or don't support, if you are a survivor, you deserve to heal from the trauma that you experienced. That applies to everybody who is a survivor of trauma, in particular childhood trauma, because that's what this page, this channel is ultimately really about. But I believe that for anybody that has experienced trauma, And so no matter what, I believe that you deserve to heal. And I deeply wish that for you, that you are able to heal no matter who you are, no matter who you may or may not support, including whether you support me or not. But if you're watching this, I'm guessing that you have. And the comments have energy. And the impact that they have on me is pretty minimal, but more so, it creates the very type of circumstance in the examples that I gave earlier. And I will not allow that. Nobody's going to come into my comments and talk about how great he is or how people have lied about him. I think at this point, I don't want that energy there, because I don't want somebody who may be struggling to come into the comments on a video and looking for support, looking for people who get it, looking for people who can help them know that they're not alone, and see a comment by somebody who is supposed to be part of this community, who we're supposed to all be on the same side and not support perpetrators. To see that there is somebody who thinks sexual assault is okay, that bullying is okay, that racism is okay, that homophobia, that transphobia, that any of that is okay, because it is not okay in this space. It's not okay, period. But it is absolutely not okay in this space. This is the only thing that I have control over, and it is not going to be accepted in this space. And if you are a survivor and you have watched my videos and have gained something from them, you are welcome. And I hope that you do stay, because what I say, the things that I share when I say that it wasn't your fault, that it's not your shame, all of that is true for you. You're just not invited to participate in the support group. If you are going to talk about being happy about supporting a sexual perpetrator, among all those other things that he is. And that goes for anybody who supports him. So at this point, basically any Republican, and remember, I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I am independent. But at this point, nobody is standing up to him. So supporting anybody, again, if we're thinking about a community, right? And there's a known rapist, child abuser in town, and there are people in the community who are rallying for him. None of those people am I going to want to come into my safe container, because it will make everybody there who doesn't support him, who doesn't think it's okay to support a perpetrator, feel unsafe. So you are welcome. And I hope that you do continue to take the things that I say and know that they do apply to you in your circumstance of trauma. But also know that if anybody comments praising something about the Republicans, the administration, or him, or anybody else, like if somebody came into my comments and talked about, what, I don't even remember his first name, Harry Weinstein, or that was like the producer or something, and the Jeffrey Epstein, right? If somebody came into my comments and praised them, that would not be allowed either. This is not political. This is about not allowing in our spaces. So my space that I have here on YouTube, and I would encourage you to really consider the spaces that you are engaging in. I'm not saying that you need to cut everybody out of your life or anything like that. But it is important to recognize the impact that the energy, that the denial, the rationalizing, the minimizing, the acceptance of that behavior, recognizing the impact that it is having on you, because it does negatively affect your healing process. If you cannot feel safe, if you cannot trust the people that you are surrounding yourself by, and when I say trust them, to the degree that you're capable of being able to trust at a given time, the experience that you're meant to get from that, so going back to the idea of a support group, the experience that you're meant to get from that, you won't be able to receive because you'll be protecting yourself. You'll be self-protective, and you won't be able to allow in the good because you're trying to repel that negative behavior. I will just not allow comments in which this behavior is normalized, accepted, rationalized, excused, or commended. Because as I have said before, completely separate from this, it doesn't matter how seemingly good a person may be, the things they may do for a community or whatever. If that person sexually abuses people, sexually assaults people, children or adults, if that person is hateful and doesn't think that other people deserve the same rights, they're not a good person. It really is that simple. It doesn't matter what good things they do. It is not acceptable behavior. It is not acceptable to target people who are different than you and think that somehow they should have less rights or dignity. This will continue to be a safe place. And if you are somebody who supports him and it doesn't feel safe to you, I am sorry that you may be feeling that you are losing something. That hurts my heart, honestly. But I cannot allow somebody who is willing to accept that to bring energy into a place where survivors need to feel safe. I'm really not trying to silence people's voices, but I consider this a container, as if you were coming into my office, if you were coming into my group room, and we were all sitting together. I would not allow it in a space like that, so therefore I cannot allow it here either. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching if you're still here at this point. And I'm looking forward to staying connected and to providing spaces for us to be able to come together and remember and to not feel like we're crazy in thinking that the world, this country is a mess right now, and we cannot normalize this behavior. We cannot normalize the acceptance of so much of this behavior. So thank you for being a part of this community. I'll look forward to seeing you next time.